Okay, brothers and sisters in Christ, we are definitely living in exciting times. But I want to talk about how in the world are they going to get the whole entire world into a cashless society. Now, I want to read you guys something. And for what I'm about to read you, this was all laid out and all planned back in the year of 1969. It's called NWO Plans Exposed 1969. This was all planned out. Because this guy later, he left the organization and he came out and he explained everything because he didn't like it and so on. So I want to read this to you. This is literally amazing. Like, just to see how much these guys have accomplished. I'm talking about the global elitists, the internationalists, institutions that are bringing in the one world government, cashless society, all of that. But just listen to this. This is total control. It's crazy. But listen to this right here. Okay, travel restraining. I guess there'll be some restrainers and implantable ID. Okay, travel, instead of being easy for old folks, travel then would become very resisted. I don't know. People would need permission to travel, and they would need what? A good reason to travel. If you didn't have a good reason for your travel, you would not be allowed to travel. And everyone would need an ID. This would at first be an ID card you would carry on your personal, and you must show when you ask, you must show, when you are asked for it. It was already planned that later on some sort of device would be developed to be implanted under the skin. That sounds like the RFID chip, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Under the skin, that would be coded. It's significant. It would be coded. Could that be the number 666? Would be coded specifically to identify the individual. This would eliminate the possibility of false ID. You see how they all try to make it sound nice? To possibly a false ID, and also eliminate the possibility of people saying, I lost my ID. You see, they always try to make it sound good, ladies and gentlemen. Directly about these skin implant, that ID was stated to be getting mental, that would stay in would stay in or under the skin without causing foreign body reaction, whereby the body would reject it or cause infliction, and that this would have to be mentally, or which information could be recorded and resumed by some sort of scanner. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. It's literally amazing. While it was not rejected by the body, since one thing was mentioned at the time, was thought to be well tolerated, it was used to women who felt their breasts were too small would get thin implants, and I guess that still goes on at any rate. Was seen at that time as the promoting mental to do both, to be ready in the body without rejecting, and to be able to retain information by electronic means. Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, I want to read something else. Listen to this. I want to show you guys this, if I can find it on time here. It literally, it says you'll start off with a single card. I'm going to show you guys. Well, I'm not going to show you, I'm going to read it to you, because I can't show it to you. But it's literally amazing. This was all planned out back in 1969. And yeah, this is exactly what the Bible told us. You see? The scriptures will never head you in the wrong direction. Okay, wait. This all has to do with the cashless society, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This all has to do with the cashless society. Okay, right here. Yeah, listen to this. Surveillance, I'm not going to read you all of it though. It's called surveillance implants and televisions that watch you. So he goes on. So the next step would be the single card, and then the next step would be to replace the single card with a skin implant. The single card could be lost or stolen, giving rise to problems, could be exchanged with somebody else to confuse identity. The skin implant, on the other hand, could not lost or counterfeited or transferred to another person, so you and your accounts would be identified without any possibility of error, and the skin implants would have to be put someplace that would be convenient to the skin. For example, your right hand or your forehead. At that time when I heard this, I was unfamiliar with the statement in the book of Revelation. The speaker went on to say, now some of you people who read the Bible will attach significance to this, to the Bible. But we went on to dismiss biblical significance at all. This is just common sense of how the system could work and should work. And there's no need to read any speculations, biblical principles into it. As I say, at that time I was not very familiar with the words of Revelation. Shortly after I became familiar with it, and the significance of what he said really was striking. I never forget it. There was some mention also of implants that would lead themselves to surveillance by providing radio. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Radio singles. This could be under the skin, which is RFID, which stands for radio frequency identification. That's what I'm telling you. Okay? Radio implants that would lead themselves to surveillance by providing radio signals. This could be under the skin or different implant put in like a falling, so that either or possibly other citizens could be identified by, let's see what it says. Could be identified by what? By center frequency from his personal transmitter, and could be located at any time or any place by any authority who wanted to find him. This would be practical for somebody who broke out of prison. There was more discussion of personal surveillance. One more thing was said. You'll be watching television and somebody will be watching you at the same time. But I can go on and on, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Everything is ready for the arrival of the Antichrist. Now, you see that? They try to make it all sound like a good thing, but we know where this is all headed. And the sad thing is so many people are not studying Bible prophecy today. And I believe, like what I heard a pastor say, I believe it's literally spiritual warfare. Like you have in China, somewhere in China, that they're told not to read the book of Revelation. I wonder why. Maybe because it exposes their plans. They don't want people to know about the mark of the beast. But thank God for the internet that we can get all this information out. If you guys want to see this website, it's called NWO Plans Exposed 1969. You guys can read it all if you want. But anyways, I want to read this to you about the mark of the beast. Okay. The beast coming out of the sea is the Antichrist. He will be the world's most powerful politician during the tribulation period, and is called a beast because he will be filled with evil. This beast will have 10 horns, which means he will have 10 kings or 10 leaders of fiction on earth who will give him political support, and he will have 7 heads, which means he will have ties to the 7 world governments of past history, which is maybe this is not incorrect, maybe because I'm reading this out of a book. The 7 heads are the 7 hills of Rome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the dragon who was identified in the current chapter as Satan will give him power. He will receive what appears to be a fatal wound during his reign, but to the astonishment of the world, he will be miraculously healed. People will be overwhelmed by his rise to power, and his ability to win wars. He will boast of his abilities, blaspheme God, try to kill everyone who worships God, and gain the worship of multitudes. Okay, and here's another one. Satan at first has authority unique to that of the Antichrist, and he will use it to give full support to that evil man. Multitudes will be deceived and forced to worship an idol he will set up in honor of the Antichrist. He will get a law passed forcing everyone to receive a mark on the right hand or forehead. This mark will be linked. This mark will be like a license to transit business. Those who have it will be allowed to buy and sell, but those without it will be denied that privilege. This mark will be the number and the name of the Antichrist. People cannot figure it out now, but after the rapture, when the Antichrist is revealed, people will discover the numeral value of the number. The name is 666. Like everything that's taking place right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. Okay, this is literally this is what's going on right now. This is what people need to realize. Like, look at this right here. Every year, uncontrolled billions of dollars change hands in the underground economy. People avoid paying taxes by working for cash without making or keeping records. Billions are made in untracked and untaxed reasons for crime and innocent fraud. Drug deals leading to do business in sense of untaxed cash. Certainly the elimination of cash currency worldly put a stop to such legal drink. Believe it or not, the system is already in place. Okay, ID technology are advancing rapidly, and someday will trap many because it will sound so reasonable and logical. There are men and women in high places who know exactly what they are doing, and what they want is control over your life. And what they want is control of your life. And that's the absolute truth. And look at this about the globalists, the New World Order. Okay, the globalists absolutely feel that the time to act, their long dreamed of global government, has come. And it appears that they are right. The only thing standing between us and world government is the United States of America. And it is Congress. If America is willing to cooperate in stripping away of this remaining vestige of U.S. sovereignty, then the day of the nation state is over, and the era of world government will have dawned. This is so true, ladies and gentlemen. People, you see what's going on? But for those of you that listened to my previous videos, I talked about the New World Order, the one world government, everything that's happening. It's just literally amazing of where we stand today. Like the guy back in 1992 under Bill Clinton, he wrote the Declaration, the birth of a global nation. He said within the next century, nations will be obsolete, and everyone will recognize a single global authority. Maybe national sovereignty wasn't a great idea after all. Like, I can go on and on and on, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to talk about this cashless society, like what we just read. How in the world are they going to get people into this? Well, it's obvious, through fear and manipulation. You see how they're using it all like a good thing? Because right now, the power elitists, the globalists, are trying to come up with something to protect people from identity theft, and they're talking about implanting chips into people, either on their right hand or on their forehead. Isn't that significant? But I want to get into this. How in the world are they going to get this to happen? Well, believe it or not, people are being conditioned right now as I speak to take the mark of the beast. You have to always remember this. Future events cast their shadows before them. Okay? Future events cast their shadows before them. They just changed the name into biometrics. That's why everybody's going into biometrics. Because in Japan, they were asking people, what would they prefer? Would they prefer paying with a credit card or paying with a finger? Just by the touch of your finger. And most of the people in Japan said, we'd rather pay with our fingers. You see that? They said Japan is going into a database, a biometric database. Africa is going into it. Mexico is going into it. The United States is going into it by 2014. They said all working Americans by 2014 will have to hand over their biometrics. It's mandated. It's mandatory. You don't have a choice. You have to do it. So Japan's going into a biometric database. Mexico is going into a biometric database. The United States is going into a biometric database. Europe is going into a biometric database. Germany. It's just incredible. Africa. And plus this too. Listen to this. The United Nations is calling for every citizen of the globe to have a national biometric identification card. Look at that. They want everybody to hand over their biometrics. Why? Because they want control. Basically what these people want is a surveillance society, and you cannot have a surveillance society in a free society. So this is what they want. And it's just incredible. Like, because we have cash, okay? You can go out, you can spend cash, but they don't like that you have cash. Even the Department of Homeland Security said, watch out for people that just use cash. They need to be watched on the most. They must be terrorists because they're using cash. Why? Because they can't track us. That's why they want to eliminate cash altogether. That's the very thing that's hindering them from having total control over everybody, is a cashless society. That's why they're trying their very best right now in the United States of America. They tried to push it this February 2nd, 2013, the real ID, the global ID card, through the Bilderbergs. They're doing it secretly through Congress. They tried to push it, but there's some good people in the government. But you have to realize that the globalists, they will never stop. Even though the Congress and certain people fight in the government, they don't care. They're going to continue fighting until they have total control. They're never going to be satisfied until they have everybody under their control. That's why they want everybody to have a national ID card so they can track them. That's why they want to get rid of cash. Okay? They want to eliminate cash altogether to hand over your biometrics. So think about it. They're getting people conditioned to paying for stuff by doing payments with body parts. How do you buy something with biometrics? Oh, you use your hand or you use your face. What's the Bible say? He caused all, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark where? On the right hand or on the forehead. So they're getting people conditioned, they're getting people accustomed to paying for things with their hands and with their face. So when the time comes for the mark of the beast, it'll be, oh, it's just a different technology. There's nothing wrong with it. It's more advanced. Like we just finished reading. First they'll start off with a single card, which no doubt about it. That's talking about the biometric ID card. Then after that will be the implant. So the biometrics is just a stepping stone to the mark of the beast. And once you hand over your biometrics, there's no going back. Okay? Once you hand over your biometrics, you are forever linked into their database. You are in the database. You are in the database, whoever you are. Like, whoever you are, you hand over your biometrics, you are known throughout the whole world. You go to whoever, they type in your name, boom, it identifies you because you're handing over your... Because the biometric stands for body measurements, 3 measurements of the body. They're going to take your hand and your fingers and your palm, they're going to analyze it, and it's going to go onto the computer, so your hand becomes digital. And then you put these things on your eyes, like binoculars. It takes the pictures of your eyes, so you can do an iris scan, and then take a digital picture of your face, which is facial recognition. Now everything about you is in the computer, so no matter where you go, you know, you're there. Once you're there, you're there. Like, it's just incredible. Like, they were showing like one of these grocery stores of this lady. She's like, oh, I don't have to worry about cards or anything because I don't have to worry about leaving home without my hand. When you pay for everything with your hand, what does that tell you? Yeah, this other guy thinks it's very cool. Look at me, I have no credit cards, no cash. How am I going to pay for everything? I'm just going to do it by my hand. So that means he handed over his biometrics already. So basically, when he puts his hand on that palm scanning machine, it identifies, it notifies the database that his hand is in, and it verifies, it reads his palm and everything, it analyzes it, and it matches with the hand, that the palm and the hand that is in the computer, and it verifies that it's the exact same one, and his payment is accepted. And this is what people are going for, and people think it's a cool thing. Like certain places, you don't even need to use cash. You can use your cell phone to pay, and other things. It's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain something here now. Okay, like where I live in Ottawa, Ontario. When we go on the bus, there's this thing called Presto. Okay, it's like it's a card. It's a card. Instead of you using money to go on the bus or buy bus tickets, you just show that card, and you go beep, and you're on the bus. Originally, that was just for the elderly. That was for the disabled people. But now everybody can have it. You see how it's going? It's all a testing ground. I want to leave it at this point here. Like about the microchipping and everything. They want everything tracked because they want to track society, and you cannot have a track society with cash. You need to eliminate cash to have a track society. They want a controlled society. But I was thinking about this because somebody was saying that they have their dog implanted with a microchip. Somebody that I saw on Facebook, the person wrote something. They said they know more about the owner, they know more about me than they know about that dog. You see? So this is what people need to realize about the cashless society. Oh yeah, and they're saying we need to get rid of cash because that's the reason for the H1N1. Money is filthy. It's carrying diseases. It's dirty. We need to come up with a new thing. And by the way, everything today is done electronically. We're living in an electronic world. And it'll be more convenient, it'll be more better for the economy and so on. We won't have to worry. Everything is done electronically. You see what they're saying? Trying to make it all sound good. And how do we know who is who? Like say if somebody's on a conscience, we don't know if that person really is who he's saying he is. So if we take our scanner out and we put that thing on his hand, and all of a sudden we see the face that comes up on the picture, then we'll know he's the right person. We look at him, we look at the picture on our computer, it identifies that he's the one who is saying it is. Like it's literally amazing of where we stand today, brothers and sisters. They're saying money is filthy, we need to get rid of it, we need to eliminate cash, and we need to go into biometrics. And plus, the FBI said next generation identification is biometrics. Because for those of you that know that I've been telling people like for months now, for months, that they said the United States by 2014, sometime in the summer, all working Americans will have to hand over their biometrics. They have a biometric program, and it's already mandated. It's in the Obama immigration form bill that every working American has to hand over their biometrics. Total control. That's all that it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is total control. Biometrics is just a stepping stone towards the mark of the beast. They're getting people prepared, and plus the internet is going down, people. Okay, they're going into total control. Because I'm gonna put a video description in my inbox below. May you guys watch it. It's by Pastor Billy Crone about the mark of the beast. Like it's literally crazy. Like they're talking about what's it called? You need an ID now to go on the internet. And they said they're going to be policing the internet. You're going to need some kind of a license to go into the internet. And you better watch out how you behave on the internet, because if we see that you're not behaving correctly, we'll cut you off like that. We'll shut you out. Total control, man. And they're going to be cutting off Christian websites and everything. And it's just like amazing. Like it's literally amazing, ladies and gentlemen. like they were talking about this new bio tattoo that they created. That they said, will this tattoo replace all passwords and all forms of identity? What does that tell you, man? All forms of identity? Like I made a video about that too. It says, will will electronic tattoos replace internet passwords and all forms of identity? What does that tell you? All forms of it. That's the mark of the beast. Like all the stuff that's converging right now. When the Antichrist comes on the scene, he's going to hijack everything, and that's exactly how everybody's going to be into the mark of the beast. Everyone's going to have to take it. But remember what I said before. Future events cast their shadows before them. Because it's not going to happen, boom, right after the rapture of the church. It happens 3.5 years after the rapture. After the Antichrist gets, he says, I am God. When he goes into the temple of God, 3.5 years. When he desecrates the temple, that's it. That's when everybody has to take the mark of the beast. And then he's going to reveal his true colors. You will become law. Imagine. It will become law that you have to take this mark. If you don't take the mark, they're going to put you and they're going to kill you. It's going to be law that whoever does not take it will be killed. So this will probably, I don't know what this will be. Whoever does not take it will be killed. So I was thinking maybe it's going to be Sharia law, but that's Islam. Maybe there is going to be Sharia law. There's so many things going on right now, ladies and gentlemen. There's just so many things. So just be ready to meet the Lord, because you know what? We're not going to be here much longer. There's just way too much stuff going on right now. The rapture is about to happen. God is saving people every day, and only God knows when that last soul is that's going to be saved, and then we're out of here. The station of grace is going to end. That's where the last Gentile believer gets saved, and then this world is going to enter into the age of the millennium. So it's just amazing, like how they're eliminating cash. Like everything the Bible said is coming to pass. They said, like even futurists, people that don't even know it's prophecy, saying like just wave your hand under a scanner. How like making a payment like that. Not saying, I forget how he said it. Just saying we're headed in that direction, and so on and so on. Something that it would be like that in the future. It'd be convenient. That you just have to scan your hand, wave your hand under a scanner, beep, and that's how you do your payment, or they just scan your forehead. So many people say, well, I wouldn't feel comfortable having a tattoo on my forehead. How about invisible, where it can only, if they shine a blue light at your forehead, and all of a sudden it sees it only by that light. They already have all these technologies here, ladies and gentlemen. They have everything here. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Well, they have a special invisible mark that they can put on you. Only a light can see it. So they have that at the stores. Beep. Or it might be a microchip. I don't know. RFID chip or electronic tattoo mark. Because they already have. They have a RFID ink tattoo. They'll know your whereabouts no matter what. Through satellite, everything's here to do payments. And they're trying to make it all sound nice. And people that don't know Bible prophecy are going to fall right into this. It's very sad. That's why we are very close, ladies and gentlemen. The rapture of the church is about to take place. I just wanted to come out and to explain this to you. They use this through fear and manipulation, okay, ladies and gentlemen? They use this through fear and manipulation. We have to do this for the war on terror, which there is no war on terror. The government needed a crisis to use their agenda to accelerate their plans for their agenda. It's all like what I just read to you, 1969. This has been all planned out. And by the way, for us that know Bible prophecy, we know with time they're eliminating cash. They're going to eliminate cash out of the economy, and everything's going to be done by electronics, by a hand scan or a face scan. Say it'll be more better. We don't print money. We don't print any more money. We save more money. It'll be more convenient and more sustainable for the economy, and so on and so on and so on. They're going to make it sound nothing but good. But that's how the devil works. He wants to control this whole entire world, and he will. This is exactly what they're doing. Satan is working through these politics, and they're setting up the Antichrist kingdom. But before the Antichrist can come into power, zap, we're out of here to the glory of God. That's why we're so close to the rapture of the church. So brothers and sisters in Christ, just be ready to meet the Lord, because Jesus is indeed coming very soon. And may you watch that video below my description. I'm going to put it in about the mark of the beast. You guys need to see this. So I'm going to let you guys go from here, and God bless you all.